We're looking at the Shotcut video editor. We're going to give you a demonstration of how to install and edit your first video. So when you come to shotcut.org, you are going to be able to head straight to the download page, and you'll find that there is a different version for your operating system. So for me, I'm on a Windows computer here, so I would want the Windows installer. This Windows Portable, you could actually run Shotcut on a USB thumb drive, and you could actually drop the application anywhere you want. You could have it with you, you could put it on any computer you sit down to without installing. That's pretty great. I would recommend installing it on your system if you're going to be using Shotcut a lot. You can also build it from the source code, and you'll be able to find this Linux and Mac versions as well. And looking at the features here, we see FFmpeg. This is one of the libraries that's used in this open source software. So let's go through some of this. Let's go through the bullet points. Export single frame as image or video as image sequence. So that's pretty great for creating animated GIFs. Color, text, noise, and counter generators. There's built-in filters, supports 4K resolutions, audio capture, webcam capture. So you can actually do your recording directly in Shotcut. Pretty great. And they also have tutorials if you want to dig deeper and learn more about how to use it. I would recommend these tutorials that they've posted. Some of them are just YouTubers, and some of them are coming directly from the Shotcut YouTube channel. So let's look on the home page again here. I just want to point out that these are the software projects used in Shotcut. So we've got WebM X264 support. FFmpeg is running in the background, meaning it can convert videos into just about any format you can imagine. MLT, Multimedia Framework, and Qt. This is basically what's running the software. So let's go ahead, head to the download page, find the installer. You can get it from GitHub. And you'll just download this to your computer. It'll be an exe file. You'll need to double click to install this file. Or on a Mac, you'll drag it over to your apps folder. You can find Shotcut repos on your Linux distribution if you want to install it that way. If I download it from Shotcut, I know I'm getting the latest stable version. You'll find that the version that's in the app manager is not this latest version. There's probably also a Flatpak install for you Linux users. Right now we're just going to be looking at this Windows version. So now that I've got it installed, I can open it up, and it doesn't create a project for me. First off, I want to import some video, so I'm going to be editing together a little video tutorial. Go ahead and bring this in, and you see I just drag and drop. I can also hit the plus symbol. It's going to be duplicating whatever clip I'm on, and I can hit the minus to remove these clips from my playlist. And you can also change the view if you have lots of clips that you need to go through. So this will be my library. And as I click on a media source, it's going to bring it into this preview window. And it's playing right away. I can scrub through here and I can find the different part of the video that I'm interested in. So I really love these linear video editors that give you a timeline. So down here, these are our tracks. So this one, V1, is the default video track that they've given me. So I can take my video clip, I can drag it down, and I can place it onto my timeline. I can see the waveform of the audio here, and if I click play, it's now playing off of my timeline.
Following along with my digital drawing series.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do with this clip is I can tell that the audio level is low. If my waveforms are not up at that 50%, halfway up, I know that it's probably not loud enough. So we'll get right into properties. So this is the property of the clip. You can see that it's highlighted with this red rectangle. So I've got this clip selected, and I have options like speed, duration, where it ends on the timeline. I've got video and audio settings for this clip. It's letting me know a little bit more about this clip. And so if I go into audio, I can see that I've got this AAC stereo audio. I can put a filter that will actually control the volume. So I'll go into filters. You can also click on filters up here at the top. And I'm going to go ahead and put in gain volume. So right now it's at 0 decibels. So if I go ahead and punch it up to 10 decibels, it's going to make the volume a little bit louder in my video. It's also going to bring up any noise and static that I recorded. So I want to be really careful with that. And that's a reminder that having a good microphone and being in a quiet environment is going to make for better audio quality on your video. So I've got it so I can hear this audio. I'm going to hit the mute button here so that I can scrub through. And there is a setting that controls whether you hear the audio while you're scrubbing through the timeline. And it can be really disorienting. So let's go to where I switch from my introduction into drawing. Okay, so right here at the end of my intro, put my audio back on. Let's hear what it sounds like.
Cave. So why don't we get started?
So right there, when I say, why don't we get started, I'm actually going to cut this clip. So the option that I use right here, right above my timeline, is split at playhead. Now if you're using iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, you're going to find that the tools are very similar. So once I've split that clip, let's go to where I start talking again. I'm actually looking at this waveform to see that this is when I begin speaking again. So why don't I go, let's see, when I bring over the reference, that would be a great place for this clip to start. So I'll go right there where it's solid white. I'll split it again. And now I can actually delete that space in between. The reason I adjusted the volume before I started splitting these clips, if I look here and I go to filters, there's my volume is boosted to 10, and if I go to this clip, it has the same filter. So if I apply a filter to a clip and then I split it, the filter will be on both of those clips. And so the video plays through at normal speed with me talking through this whole thing. I can see the volume level really trailing off. I must have started putting my head down instead of speaking a little more upright. Let's go ahead and listen to what my final words are here.
Okay, out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
I'm not sure if I need that because I actually have a second clip where I finish this drawing. So I'll probably end it somewhere there where I'm being quiet, and I'll bring in my second clip that has me finishing the piece. And then if I want to use that sound, that outro that I had, I could split the clip and I could then move this over. So that's a kind of cool transition. So let's see what that looks like there.
Okay.
So I switch my source right here without a transition, so I just have to cut this
Okay.
right before I say okay. It's kind of tight.
Okay.
Another option would be to actually use the webcam and record another outro.
Okay. Out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
So if I want to just make this a part 1 and a part 2, I can go ahead and I can go over to my filters. Maybe I'll fade this out. So if I hit the plus symbol, I can choose fade out video. So let's watch that and see what it looks like. So that's a pretty quick transition. That is a 1-second transition. If I look at the duration on this filter, I can actually change the length. And so I can type in 2 seconds. A 2-second fade out should be long enough. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, much more elegant. And then another thing I could do, right here where I'm bringing in this image, I say a little something.
Out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
And so if I wanted to put in a little audio, I can come over here and I will go ahead and bring this audio into my playlist. So let's see. Oops, that's the duplicate. We can do import. So if I need to add in a click, let's see, how do we go? I was dragging and dropping, that's the easiest way. So if I find my folder where I've got my music, I can bring in one of my tracks. This is my outro that I've been using. And before I bring it down here, if I just drag this onto the clip, it's actually going to overwrite. You can see that word overwrite pop up. And so it will overwrite the video and audio on this audio track. So you can put video and audio on an audio track. Track operations, add an audio track, Control U. If I try and put a video on this audio track, it doesn't work. Let's see, it brings in just the audio. So if you wanted to have just the audio, you can actually just drag in that audio down to there. So we want to bring in this little song. And so I've got this audio track here, and I'm going to actually use the outro of the song. Let's just listen to the outro of the song. Okay, so I've made it an executive decision here. I am actually going to add in a new outro that's a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and cut this audio clip so that we've got the outro audio at the length that we want it. So right here. Let's make sure we don't cut that bass line in a weird spot. Do it with that little drum kick right there. So I can do the same thing with my audio clips. I can split. And I'm just clicking and holding down the mouse as I drag. See how it's a really long way to go? I can zoom in and out of my clip to make it easier to see where I am.
Okay, out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
So right here, out of the art
Okay,
cave.
out at the art cave.
I'm going to go ahead and cut where we're in the cave. And then if I drag this down, now I have just the audio. So why don't we go ahead and make a second audio track. And then I'll drag this little piece of audio down here. And now I can actually have this music underneath. But now I've lost the part of the clip where I have the drawing of the art cave. So I can bring that file in. So now I've got an image in my playlist. So we've got a video, an MP3 file, and a PNG image file. So I'm just doing the same thing that I did live, but now I have the ability to stretch this to be the length that I want it. So we can make this be the length of the outro. So let's see how our new outro looks.
Okay, out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back.
A little hard to hear my voice over the audio. So what I could do is I could actually set keyframes to keep the audio level low and then bring it up when I'm ready. So it's a little more advanced. Let's see if we can do it quickly. So when I come over to my filters on this clip and I add gain and volume. So right now it's set, it's the decibel level's at 0. So it's just going to be the regular sound. And then if I want to bring this down, I can hit this little icon that looks like a clock, and that adds the keyframe for this clip. And it gives me the second little keyframe dialog here. So now let's play through. I think I want the audio to come up at first. Probably around there. And I can add another keyframe. So now I have this keyframe where it goes from 0.
Okay.
Oh, we did the opposite, didn't we? So let's go ahead and set start of the filter. And we can make sure that it's all the way down. And then right here at this other keyframe, here's where we'll bring it up to 0. Or do we have it at +10? So now let's listen to that.
Okay.
I think it punched up the audio. I don't need to punch up the audio on the track that I'm bringing in. It's fine. So we can leave that at 0. Maybe even a little lower because my voice is so low if we want to have consistent. This track is actually a little loud. It was
Okay, out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
okay, right there where I stop talking, I think is where I can bring it up. So we'll add another keyframe. then yet another keyframe. Oops. So let's go ahead and set that. Oops. Yeah. Set that keyframe.
Okay, out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
Okay, and then on this very last keyframe, oh, sorry, right near this keyframe is where we're going to want to bring our volume all the way up to the regular level. So we'll go to this keyframe and we'll put it to 0. I can also just type right in here. Okay, so now that volume is going to be kind of a little lower while I'm speaking, and then it's going to come up to full volume.
Okay, out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
Okay, and then the easy way to do this would have been to go into your filters and you can add a fade in audio and a fade out audio. So let's go ahead and just put a fade in just to make sure it's nice and smooth. So let's give a final listen to our outro and then we can export our file.
Okay, out at the art cave, drawing in the dark. We'll be back with more.
Perfect. So now we just extend this image all the way to the end, and actually this is where I want to put my fade out video, and we'll go ahead and we'll make that a 2-second. So we should preview this before we export. Always a good idea. If I wanted any overlapping and transitions, you can actually just drag a clip and put it over, and it will actually create the transition between.
Started.
So you see how that faded the clip. I'm going to go with the tight cut. I could even come back in here and I could use keyframes to create an animated transition with a title. We'll do that on a secondary video. Alright, so let's keep this short and sweet as promised. If we go to export file, you'll see they have all of these great presets. So we want to make sure we're exporting the right video format. And if you don't know what video format, H.264 baseline or H.264 high performance would be a good one. But look at this. We can do WebM for our web videos. We can also export OGG, audio. And looking at this YouTube setting, if I hit on it advanced, now I'm actually seeing these are the settings that come in when we choose YouTube. So it's coming from timeline. Don't need to get into this too much, but MP4, look at all these formats you can choose. So we've got MP4 as the option right now. Frames per second, 30. Aspect ratio 16:9, that's 1920 by 1080. I create everything at this size for HD quality. So let's go ahead and do advanced. Aha. And then you can hit export up here at the top, or you hit this export file once you've gone there. And so I'll choose my location, and this is a Shotcut install tutorial. And I can put that in my defined tutorials folder. Save. So right over here is our jobs. So now that's in the queue and it's working away. So you can go for a little bike ride, come back, and your video should be exported.